Righty, hello and welcome everybody to ORL Tier 2 round number 11 here around the Qatar circuit, and I am joined by J-Man in the comms box once again.
G'day, Lindsay. It's great to be back once again. I think this is the most weeks in a row we've commentated together, 2 in a row. So it's good to finally have some continuity. And Tier 2 is going to be a good one today. And hopefully we might find out who our Tier 2 champion is today as well.
Yep, obviously Zonix has had an absolutely amazing season, and with Magic Shot not being here tonight, as long as Zonix wins, he wins the championship. So, definitely a big night for Tier 2.
Yeah, I'm sure he'd be more than happy to get that job done tonight. Obviously, he has to win. Second won't be good enough for this week, but it's extremely likely he's going to win the championship no matter what. But obviously, still plenty to play for in terms of the Constructors' Championship. So, I'm sure Zonix will still be fighting hard right to the end, as will the Mercedes drivers and the Alpine drivers, who are all in that hunt for the overall Constructors. Obviously, Alpine about to take out both Tier 1 titles, and that's a large thanks to Geordie Slater, who's been fantastic all season. And these Tier 2 drivers have a job to do to try and help him out.
Yeah, and I think that the championship fight that's going on this season is definitely because of how close this grid is, and I think we've seen over this season it was close from the start, and I think it's just getting closer and closer, because before Zonix was quite a distance over the field, won heaps of races in a row, and slowly the grid has been closing up to him. So it's been really good to see the improvements from all the drivers and just the grid closing up the whole time.
Yeah, he's really he's been reeled in a little bit. We've spoken about it a few times. His dominant start to the season, which really set the tone, and then there's just been great improvement, and that's what we speak about in Tier 2. One driver's on top for a bit, and then the other drivers really step up their game and take the challenge to them. And obviously, only 4 rounds left in this game until we move on to F1 24. And then it's a whole different ball game. Everyone has to start all over again from square one. And it'd be good to see. There'll be a few changes in the order as well. Some drivers who might have been struggling a bit on this game. It's a completely new, fresh opportunity. So I can't wait to see what happens.
Yeah, and I think the tendency with a new game is a lot of people who are slower can get a lot quicker, because they come in and they put in a lot more time and effort. They want to be running at the front, and a lot of the top guys will either... The thing with the top guys is, on a new game, they either stay at the top and get an even bigger gap, or they have a massive drop-off, and it'll be interesting to see who it will be. I think Geordie is going to be one of those people that doesn't drop off, just because his dedication in the F1 games is quite high, but I think we'll see some top drivers drop off a bit, and some lower drivers bump up to that top level.
Yeah, you can never afford to be complacent. As well, as we know, there's a lot of moving parts that go into being as F1 Banks has retired from the session after just one lap there. But there's a lot of moving parts. You've got to be good at a lot of things. It's not just being the fastest person out there. You've got to play it smartly. The races, obviously, there's going to be a lot of variables, different tracks that you've got to learn, and it's really underappreciated how good you have to be to run right at the front of any field in F1. It doesn't matter if it's ORL Tier 2 or if it's F1 Esports. It's a tough task.
Yeah, and I think I think these drivers truly understand that, and that is why I think the likes of Zonix gets closed up to, because people just they have so much dedication on the F1 game, and I think that it's really good to see.
Yeah, and a few drivers have put their laps in. Ragon, new driver in Tier 2, and if he keeps putting up pole position times, he might not be in Tier 2 for too long. But it's good to have new drivers in. This is his debut. Hopefully he goes well for AlphaTauri, who are in desperate need of some points. It's safe to say them and Williams have been dwelling at the
spicy,
bottom.
though.
And
Never
yeah,
mind,
we'll have a look at
Spicy just had a
Spicy. He
shocking
crossed
lap.
the line.
Never mind. It looked really good. I forgot where the line was. There we go. There's Zonix, 21.5.
There you go.
So
Yeah, Zonic's asserting himself.
he arrives on the scene. Ovnoa's going, though. So we'll go to Ovnoa as he's heading into Sector 2. We'll go on board. Our first on board of the night here under the lights in Qatar. Heading through Sector 2. He's definitely had an interesting season. He came a couple rounds late. And then, obviously, with Jaden having to drop out going to C, I took him into Mercedes, and he's just had a phenomenal pace. He's won some races, and he was the one who really started to take it to Zonix. And I think it's been good to see him back on the grid after he was so strong on F122, then didn't really appear last season, and now he's been back in full force. If only he'd been here from round 1, I think, is the question we could all ask. There's Mickey.
Wow.
Oh,
Mickey. Oh my goodness. Has he turned the assist back on?
No, he's really been trying. He as Ovnoa goes P2, only a few hundredths slower than Mickey. Mickey's been putting in a lot of hours recently. I think he was fed up with being near the back. He's been practicing a lot. So
yeah, it's good to see Mickey be up there at the front. It used to be a common sight in the previous seasons. Unfortunately, just hasn't been able to find that consistency. But when we talk about Tier 2 champions, Zonix will be joining a coveted list of Div 2 champions. I've just got them up now. Mickey, who's currently in provisional pole at the moment. I'm a Nubatron from back in the day. Hudman as well, and Vipermon. Those are the 4 champions. And all 3 of them are still racing the league, which is great to see. Nubatron's obviously moved on to bigger and better things. But yeah, it's a great list of drivers there that he should be joining in a couple of weeks' time.
yeah, and I think it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when with Zonix. Even if Jaden does come back and Zonix doesn't win tonight, I think the gap with what will be 3 rounds to go after this one is just going to be a little bit too large to overcome because Zonix is way too consistent up the front here.
Yep, and we look at this order at the moment. The Alpines are setting down that challenge. They're 1 and 4 at the moment. Overall constructors, I'll give you an update on that because that is probably the main point of interest for the next couple of weeks. Mercedes have taken the lead of the overall constructors for, I believe, the first time of the season. And they lead Aston Martin by 19, and then another 31 points back is Alpine. So there are 3 big teams involved. And then there's a good little midfield battle between Alfa Romeo, Red Bull, Ferrari, Haas, and McLaren, who are pretty close, and then AlphaTauri and Williams fighting it out to avoid last at this stage.
Yeah, and I think that this fight will go to the very end. I think it's too close to not go to the very end. I think for the overall constructors, though, the Tier 1 drivers, for both you and myself, really need to bring it to a next level here if we want to really clinch that constructors. Obviously, Geordie going off to OCE for the last couple of rounds now. He's won the ORL championship. He's trying to pick up a new driver for Tier 1, so that'll hurt Alpine in the time where he's transitioning. Obviously, he has Senna, though, as a replacement. So he's looking good for the moment for Tier 1, but obviously it's not going to be quite as good because Geordie was just so dominant.
Yeah, it's a big loss, but Alpine, even despite that loss, have been gradually gaining on the rest of the field. I believe they were almost over 100 points off the pace before the mid-season break. So the fact that they've been able to pull it back to where they are now, which is pretty amazing. And 50 points with 2 tiers, all it takes is 1 or 2 good weekends, and suddenly that gap could be closed right up. So anything can still happen, and we know drivers are prone to a bad weekend. One mistake from any driver could really change the course of the season.
Yeah, and I think that we'll see coming into crunch time of this season for the constructors. I think mistakes will start to slip in, and I think that it is going to be crucial. Whoever stays the most consistent will win this overall constructors.
Yep, and we're having a look at the moment. Hudman is putting down his first lap of the session. Qatar, new track in the game. Obviously not that new because the game's almost a year old now, but it still feels relatively new. And Hudman going through this set of corners, it's a very high downforce track as well. And we see him now coming around the final corner. What kind of lap time can he put up? It's looked pretty solid so far. It's a 1:21.4 that's leading the way at the moment. So we'll see if Hudman can get anywhere near that, and not quite. He's about a second off the pace. And a few uncharacteristic performances from Hudman in the last few races, so he's going to be looking to really put some good shifts in for these final few races.
Yeah, and just of note for this race, Jaden obviously back in the Mercedes reserving again. He's down in P15 right now, so he is not having a good time. And I think the Mercedes and the Aston drivers in Tier 2 are the people we need to be focusing on. But don't forget the Alpines, because right now they're P1 and P4, which we have not seen this season.
Yeah, there's been gradual improvement as well, especially Apex Stig has been fantastic as well. Unfortunately, I believe he DNF'd last week, which was very unfortunate for him. But we'll see if they can pick up the slack this week. And if they can really get their Tier 2 drivers firing on all cylinders, getting good results, then there's no reason why they can't win the overall Constructors, because they have that strong Tier 1 lineup even without Geordie. So plenty of opportunities for them there.
Yeah, and I think that for Alpine, it's definitely crunch time. I think for all three of us team principals, you, myself, and Geordie, it is truly crunch time. And I think this is diamonds are born under pressure. I've heard you say a few times, and
yeah, that's one that Dex used to say, and I've taken that one on. They are formed under pressure, so we'll see who's able to withstand it tonight. There's a few minutes left in the qualifying session here, and Qatar's a track where we see a lot of drivers. It can be very difficult, especially with the track limits. We know we've seen a lot of penalties. I believe we raced here the opening race of ORL for the game F123 Season 4. I'm not sure who won, though. You'll have to remind me.
Tier 2, I would not have a clue. Honestly.
Because
Mickey
improves his lap time.
Yeah, I was on board with him there. It's a really good lap. Yeah, I'd have to go back. I'd have to go back through the streams to find who won that one.
I'm going to have a look right now, because I do remember at that point in time, Ovnoa was my Tier 1 teammate, and he picked up a podium in that race down at Qatar. So maybe that's a good sign for him.
I know.
We'll see what happens.
I know Ryan won in Tier 1, but I don't remember Tier 2.
Yep, I'm going to have a look at that for the next couple of minutes right now.
Alrighty, so a couple of drivers now on outlaps again. This is final run time, so this is crunch time here for Tier 2. This is where we see some of the greatest qualifying performances. Apex Stig is already invalidated on what was supposed to be his final attempt, so he's probably going to charge up the battery, try go again now. He's still got quite a lot of it, but it will hurt him as the battery does burn quite high here. So we see some brilliant pole laps here in Tier 2, a lot of them coming from Zonix, but in the previous seasons we've seen laps from the likes of DXmond and Hudman. So we'll see who can pull out a pole position tonight. Will it be Mickey like it's looking to be? Will it be Stig? Will it be Zonix or Noah? Maybe even Jaden from nowhere. It could even be Taipan TJ for all we know. This is going to be super close here for qualifying. And as we enter our final runs here, Broadstar is heading through the final sector. We'll go on board with him. He's about to go into the final sector. And he is pushing very, very hard. He's in P5 right now. Will he make any inroads into that top 3 potentially? Will he maybe even move up into P4 past Stig? As he's looking at pretty good splits right now. Is he improving though? He's about to head into Sector 3. I did not catch the split, so we'll have to see. He's looking really good here, but he's invalidated!
Aww.
With only a few minutes to go, he'll have to go charge up the battery, but use tyres around here. are a big bummer. So that could
He's gonna
definitely
go for a
hurt
quick
him.
pit stop, I think.
Yeah, I don't think he has the time, though. It will be close. Royal Duck in Sector 1 right now in the Alpha Tower is looking pretty good. P9 for the moment. They'll have to find a lot of time to move significantly up the grid. But P9 just in the top 10 still is not a bad spot to be because anything can happen come
Jaden's
the race.
pushing as well. He's got a purple middle sector.
Oh yeah, we'll go
Just having a look at that at the moment. The reigning race winner is sitting P4 in the Drivers' Championship at the moment as a reserve. And I suspect that if there was a full-time seat available, someone would definitely ask him. And here he comes to the line now. What's it going to be for Jaden? It's going to be a P6 121.7. So, pretty solid. Not quite enough, though. We can see there's a pretty large gap in the field compared to most tracks. So there's 0.6 separating first from sixth. And I do have some info for you, Lindsay, from the last time he raced here. DXman had pole position with a 121.13. And Kia ended up winning that race with Kizzy and Zonix joining him on the podium. So we'll see.
Yeah, my driver. Yeah.
Yeah. Is Kia here today?
Yeah, he's just not qualifying.
He is. And so we'll see if he can repeat those heroics today.
Yeah, he's not qualifying right now. As there's a massive race on the outlap here. People have cut it a bit too late, and now people are racing through the final sector. Taipan TJ just made a double overtake on the asses. So, definitely interesting, yep. Hudman is in the gravel right now, so we won't go to Hudman. Jaden obviously is done for the session. Jaden's been playing a lot of Spider-Man, so I think he warned me that he hadn't practiced. Or at least not a lot of practice, which is fine.
Hudman's gone into the gravel as well, so might be his session over, I think.
Yeah, Hudman didn't. I think he improved to P4 though. I don't think he actually went into the gravel on his lap.
And he just drove into the wall.
Oh, good stuff. As Miniman is entering into Sector 3, he's 2.5 tenths up right now in P11. That would put him up into the top 10 if he can find just a few more hundredths.
That looked good.
Yeah, he's pushing hard now in the McLaren as he heads into the final corner. He's given it absolutely everything he can this lap. Will he make it maybe even past just P10? Will he get up into P9? We'll have to see. Was his Sector 3 good before? Will that be a massive improvement? It looked on the limit there. What's it going to be? It's going to be a 1:21.7. He goes P7.
Nice.
As Jaden finishes his session. Mickey is in Sector 1, so we'll go on board with him, and then we can go on board with Ovnoa and Zonix as we go along, as Ovnoa and Zonix have just started their laps back-to-back with each other. So this is crunch time here in Tier 2 qualifying. Who will be able to snatch pole under pressure here? Mickey pushing the absolute limits, but he's down 200ths. But 200ths is not a lot to make back around here, depending on what his other two sectors look like. Let's see how he can push himself through these next two sectors in qualifying here. And he invalidates it, so that's a
Zonix
big hurt for him.
as well by Alpha and Mayo, I believe, of Taipan TJ.
It's not good. So
that's a shame for Zonix, but Mickey has invalidated. So after improving twice, Noah, look at him, he's up 3 tenths. He's flying along here. Doesn't look like he's going to have any opposition here. He just needs to be able to finish this lap off, and he might have pole position in the bag. 3.5 tenths the advantage. He only needs 2.5 to beat Mickey. Barring any major mistakes here, he looks to be the man on top. Zonix's lap's going to be no good here. And here we go, a lot of cars here around the final corner as everyone finishes off their lap. DRS open for Ovnoa. This lap looks good. It looks fantastic. Couldn't even get into the 120s. It might be close. It's going to be very close. And it's pole position for Ovnoa. 121.0. What a lap. And he's going to take pole position here at Qatar. And a massive result for him on his return after taking a week off. Fantastic for Ovnoa. Mickey takes second, and Zonix will have third place.
Yeah, so unfortunate for Zonix there, getting impeded on the day where he can win the championship, but P3 is not a bad starting position at all. The slipstream is crucial here, so P2 honestly is the better place to be until you come into the final lap at turn 1. So definitely interesting to see. Mickey gets P2. It was looking really good for him, but he was 200th down. But I think he would have made it up, but he just tried to push it a little bit too hard and found himself just over the white line. And Noah at crunch time managed to get pole by a tenth and a half, nearly. And from P1 to P2, it's then a 3/10 gap back to Zonix in P3. Then we have Hudman just behind him. Then we have Stig, Ragon, Broadstar, Frosty, Miniman, Jaden rounds out the top 10 there. Not where he'd want to start, but it's also not a big problem here in Tier 2. Then we have Royal Duck, Mewburn, Webbo, Banks. PS Bomber not having a great qualifying for Aston Martin when they need the points at the end of this season. Spicy, P16 in the house. Then we have Taipan and Kia, who didn't decide to qualify.
Yeah, interesting Taipan and Kia not setting a qualifying lap because they are usually right up there. But they've got a long race to try and make their way through. We've seen Kia do it a couple times already, absolutely fly through that pack, and I assume we're gonna see another action-packed race again here, and that'll provide plenty of opportunities for every driver today. There's usually always an opportunity for you to get through the field, and we'll see who's good enough to be able to take it.
Yeah, and I think that anything can happen. Qatar isn't the easiest place for DNFs, but obviously, if anybody's going to cause a DNF here, definitely our Tier 2 drivers might be good, but they have the tendency to get into some very odd crashes on their own, so we'll see if we see anything like Season 1 Tier 2 Spa, Upper Rouge or something like that. With 3 cars DNF'd in a row on their flying laps. But yeah, obviously anything's possible here in Tier 2, and I think we'll see that even going down into Turn 1. We never know who's going to be leading. I think we saw last race, didn't the driver from P3 or P4 end up P1 by the end of Turn 1? Or was that?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. So we'll have to see. Obviously the starts are crucial, but as we come to the lights here in Qatar for Tier 2... Is it going to go? Yeah, and we're underway here for Tier 2 racing. Noah gets a pretty good start, but I think something's going on with the leaderboard there as Kia's now showing up in P3. Now the Ferraris are actually up the front, and now it's Noah followed by Zonix, then Hudman, Mickey, and F1 Banks, and there's a massive crash!
Oh my goodness.
And there's massive lag. I think the lobby bugged.
I think we'll have to restart this.
Yeah, I think...
Kia started about 10 seconds before everyone else and didn't get any penalty for it.
Yeah.
So I think we're just going to have to red flag this.
Yeah, I think there's massive desync. So... Yep, we'll call the lobby restart. Hold on. Typical EA. Anyway.
I think Kia was in AI, that might have been the issue.
Yeah. That would also explain him not qualifying as well.
Are we starting a new lobby?
Yeah. This lobby's bugged, I think. You can start it because you have more people added than I do this season.
Yeah, I don't. Do you have the grid order?
Yeah, it's on the stream.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm just going to mute all the audio while we go to get going again. Alrighty, we are back. We are getting underway here for Tier 2 after a quick lobby restart. So, let's see how this goes. Hopefully everyone remembers setups, because obviously a lobby restart, some people tend to forget their setups and then it ruins their entire race, and also some people just get out of their groove, not sitting down, just not racing for a few minutes, trying to get everything back up and going. It can screw with some people, so we'll see how everybody handles this restart, and hopefully we can get underway without issues this time, but that depends on how cooperative EA wants to be today.
Yep, so hopefully it should be good to go shortly. Everyone just re-equipping their setups. I wonder if that's not good.
Oh, we've seen that at the same time. Oh, gotta be kidding. I mean, we're not going to lobby restart for it, we'll re-invite him, but that just ruins his race.
Yeah, hopefully the it won't cook the start again. But yeah, we can't restart just for one person laggy out, unfortunately. Otherwise, we'll be here until the Tier 1 race.
Which I cannot take that long, and nor do I want to take that long. I don't think anybody does.
And Mickey is not going to have his setup either, which is not ideal.
Yeah, he's screwed. But it's just not worth doing a whole other restart again, getting everyone back in because one person's lagged out. If it was not crossplay and everyone could just join off someone, then yeah, because it takes about a minute. But because crossplay, the whole hassle with the invites not going through and all of that, it's just not worth it. But as we get to 5 red lights here again for Tier 2, hopefully this time we can get underway. Yep, and we are underway. Mickey's...
Oh my god.
Oh, and there's...
Oh my god.
We're just gonna let everyone crash out. Just tell everyone to crash out or retire. Ah, fuck, that's the Alpine chat.
Oh, and Broadstar's back.
Oh.
This game's decided it just wants to suck now.
It saw the beta of F124 and it has to copy it.
How much longer do we have to wait until we have to shorten it?
I mean, honestly, it's been ages. Getting everyone back in and setting up the grid. Yeah, and Geordie just said in the chat, ladies and gentlemen, this is Codemasters and EA. Hey, J-Man.
Well done, Mickey.
Guess what, J-Man? You have to set up the whole grid again, I think.
No, I don't.
You just have to put Broadstar in his spot.
Oh, that's easy.
Cool. Sometimes it's just not to be. Genuine. It's been 40...
I can't wait for this. This is going to make the race even more interesting because everyone is going to be driving like absolute spoons.
Yeah, because they haven't driven for the past 30 minutes. I think it's going to have to go down to a 35%. Oh,
we're going to have one more crack at this and then we'll have to shorten it.
Hold on, no, I'm going to do a poll. How the fuck do you do these new Discord polls? Oh, here we go. And if it gets down to 35%, then everybody's screwed. Nobody has a strategy or fuel.
Are you doing a poll, are you?
Yeah.
Oh, good, everyone's still here. What position's Broadstar in? 6th?
Yeah.
No, 5 votes, that's enough. Let's go.
Yep, just set ready up. And the safety car's off to reduce time. No, because that's half the fun of Div 2.
Yep, it is. Come on, click the ready up button, for God's sake. Third time's the charm.
Ah, yep. Yep. That's...
I just put in the chat, remember setups, and 4 people replied no.
Just eek EA right now. We should really get dedicated servers for that F1 game. You never remind anyone to set up stream, man. You'll get yelled at.
Remember your setups.
Alrighty. Here we go. Did I mute all the audio again? Oh, let me check. No, I didn't. I was too lazy this time. Oh, Mickey's left again!
No way.
This is a piss take, right?
Let's just see how the start goes. Oh, we're gonna have to shorten it now.
If we have to restart again, yeah. Might need a new lobby, yeah, but then that's fucking 50 billion minutes. EA.
Let's see what happens though.
Oh, wait, are you at the lights right now?
No, it's just ticking down.
I don't even see the tick down, so. Alrighty, here we go as we come to the lights for the 3rd time and hopefully the last time in this Grand Prix.
Go, Mickey! Go!
This is
Get
Mickey.
the lead!
As there we go, we get underway. This time, no safety car. So we have Ovnoa followed by Zonix as they'll catch Mickey quite quickly. Zonix going to the outside. Noah on the inside. Hudman trying to make a move into what will be 3rd place. Broadstar and P4 trying to make it around the outside of Hudman. He gets the move done, and for now, it's looking like Ovnoa is going to take the lead. But the AI of Mickey is getting in the way now, and they're going to be backing up the pack substantially. Zonix nearly gets his front wing taken out. It's the whole grid is going to have to negotiate past this AI that is going terribly slow. This might cause some carnage up the back as we move further back. There's a lot of drivers side by side here, but the main focus for everyone is going to be getting past the AI of Mickey as Jaden moves up into the top 4 already.
What an unbelievable start this has been. There's a yellow, and it's a
Hudman.
Ferrari of Hudman. And Raygon as well has gone down 11 players. I'm not sure if he was involved. Hudman's just... Is he beached on the curb or something? He's just stuck there, not moving.
Oh, there's an McLaren in the wall. PS Bomber out. There's a massive pile up.
Yes, and Raygon, I think, is involved again. Is it Kia? possibly. F1 Banks gets a 5-second penalty for a collision with Kia. Kia has no front wing. So, a bit of drama going on towards the back there. There's a safety car. And Of Noah has that lead of the race. And Apex Stig is up into third. Jaden up into fourth. Great start. And he's straight into the pits as well to get rid of those soft tyres, as is Taipan TJ and Miniman.
Yeah, I think maybe they were trying to get their setups, because I don't think a lot of people save their setups. They just use it off the Discord. And then somebody clicked ready, so probably didn't have time to get their tyres selected.
Yep, that is possible. And now everyone from 11th down in the pits.
And so Jaden effectively resetting where he started.
Yep, so it's going to be interesting. We'll have a look at the tyre situation. Just everyone's either on mediums as Ragon has retired. I believe that's in the pits.
Yeah, it was.
And then there were 17 drivers left. The top 5 all on mediums. And then a couple hard sprinkled in there, but mostly people running medium tyres. Spicy's gone up 9 places off the start. Pretty good from him. H. Mewburn's up 6 as well. So should be a good battle here, especially between Ovnar and Zonix. We got to see an early little scrap on lap 1. So hopefully that continues on the restart and we can finally get some uninterrupted racing here. Yeah,
it'll definitely be interesting to see. You could tell the grid was a bit twitchy, a bit tentative. I think, about 30, nearly 40 minutes of not racing will do that to you when you've just done a qualifying session. But yeah, we'll have to see how we get underway as we go barreling down into turn 1 for the restart. Mickey will still be in the way of a lot of drivers who have pitted. Even P8 Jaden will have to renegotiate him, so will Taipan, Miniman, and everyone behind him. So that will definitely create an interesting back half of the field, and I think it'll definitely be very backed up. And I think it'll be like your average Bunnings car park on a Saturday.
Yep, it'll be interesting to see here. We'll get one more lap of safety car, I suspect, and then we'll get going again. Mickey has gone down to 8th after that start there. He got the head start over everyone else. Unfortunately, he lost it pretty quickly as Kia makes a error and just retires. So, and
there were 16.
Sure why that was.
We had 2 drivers which are on the pit lane in the first 3 laps. So
that's an interesting one.
Yeah. Are Bahrain and Qatar the same amount of laps?
I think they might be.
Yeah, I think they're both 29 laps. Such a random thought, but I just I think they both have the same race distance. Anyway, unimportant.
And I'm looking at the pit lane here. I'm not sure what's going on. F1 Banks was actually stuck in the pit lane because Kia's car was sitting there. But thankfully he's able to get out. And now plenty of points on offer today for the drivers that remain. So good opportunity here.
Yeah, obviously PS Bomber retiring lap 1 hurts the Astons. Mickey now having no setup and starting at P8 on a strategy he didn't choose with an amount of fuel he didn't choose will hurt him as well, and that hurts Alpine. So it's going to be basically Of Noah. Oh my god, F1 Banks on it. Anyway, it's going to be Of Noah versus Zonix versus Stig, the 3 constructors that are in this main fight for the overall. And the 2 up the front are the ones that are fighting the tier 2 constructors, all fighting on one piece of track, and Jaden obviously up the back as well in P11, who's going to be working his way through. It is going to be a very interesting race once we get going, as all of these points, all of these positions matter in the grand scheme of these final 4 races. As the safety car has been called in this lap, and do you want to take this one away?
Let's do it. Of Noah is going to be leading us away from pole position, as he was in qualifying. The best, as Apex Stig is really taking a nice line on the inside there. And Novnoa, has he gone early here? It looks like he might have. Zonix runs off the track. And that might have cost him a little bit of time there, Zonix. And if we look a little bit further back, Broadstar trying to chase down Apex Stig, trying to get the move done straight away here into turn one down the inside. That was nice and easy, and there's a bit of a tussle going on between 4 cars here in the midfield. Mickey is backing up Webbo, Royal Duck, and Jaden here. And Royal Duck has run right into the back of him there. And that AI is causing all sorts of problems. F1 Banks has retired on the straight. And that is another safety car, and we're down to 15.
As we are not allowed uninterrupted... Oh, I can't even speak English at this point, that's how long it's been. We can't get any sort of uninterrupted racing here, and I don't think I've seen this in Tier 2 for a while.
Yeah, very unfortunate. I think Mickey's AI is causing quite a few problems for the drivers behind. If he can't get back in the lobby, he unfortunately won't be counted in the results, so hopefully he is able to do it.
Yeah. I think Mickey wasn't allowed to take control again, so he was AI the whole time, even after he rejoined. But that also means that he's going to retire on track when he tries to reconnect, because that's a common bug this game. When you try to reconnect, it doesn't let you take control, and then you leave the lobby and join again, and it retires you from the session. So hopefully that doesn't happen, but it's a very, very common bug. As will we see anyone dive into the pits, maybe just for fresh tyres? It's, yeah, Broadstar making a dive in. Frosty
like
also making a dive in. Webbo making a dive. No, he dummies it. Alpha Tauri of Royal Duck comes into the lane. So I think a few people may be switching onto the hards, maybe to go back to their softer tyres later. Or inevitably just trying to stretch longer on the hards now. You can probably make the hard soft work now, so... I think that strategy is going to be key now. There's only 2 more safety cars that we can have left in this race, and I think we're going to end up seeing both of them out, but the matter... I just can't speak. The question is when. There we go. That's the word I was trying to get out of.
Yeah, it's going to be all about taking your opportunities today. There's a few drivers that will be looking to pick up some good points that are like Spicy's currently in 5th, Webbo in 6th. If one of those guys can get some decent points, they'll be very happy with that. And hopefully we can see some challenges to the lead. Apex Stig still up there in 3rd. He's got plenty of speed, we know that. Jaden is in 7th as well. Taipan TJ slowly rising through up in 8th. And he could potentially be a threat also, as he did come 2nd place last week. He was so close to the win last week against Jaden and Zonix in that massive battle at the end of Brazil.
And he's had a couple of close calls. Obviously, Imola, he was looking to potentially get P2 or P3 with the last lap chase down from Zonix, and then he spun at the final corner. So he's had a couple of close calls, and I think we'll see him drag in a bit more, but I think at the end of the day, this is going to come down to who can manage their strategy the best with all of these safety cars and problems, and who can negotiate around Mickey's AI, who are P10 and backwards.
Yep, it's going to be difficult. We'll get, I think, 1 more lap of safety car, and then we'll get underway again. I think we've only had about half a lap of racing so far. So hopefully we can get a little bit more. Hopefully Mickey can finally get control of his car, or at least retire it.
Even if he does get control again, he won't have a setup, so he's going to be an absolute terrorist in a straight line. He is going to be going about 40 k's an hour faster than everybody. Everybody else is going to have a 50 front wing with somewhere in the 40s on the rear wing, and then there's going to be Mickey with 21.18.
Yeah, you'd suspect he might be a bit of a roadblock.
Oh, we'll have to see, won't we? If only it was the F122 days and those low wings would get away with it. The default setups on F122 weren't great, but at least they were usable because they were still low wings.
Yeah.
As the safety car going around 1 more time. I'm not sure why it went around 1 more time. Could have came in at the end of that lap, but everybody pretty much on mediums or on hard. So we have the top 3 on mediums, then we have a hard runner, and then it goes hard, medium, hard, medium, medium for Jaden and Taipan. Then we have 2 hard runners as Mickey and Miniman. Then we have mediums all the way down till P13. And we have a set of hards for Frosty, and Royal Duck is on mediums. So a reasonable split here. More people on mediums than they are on the hards, which you would expect at this point in the race, I think. So we'll have to see how everyone can get underway. And hopefully we don't see another safety car for at least another 10 laps.
Yeah, that would be nice. Hopefully we can just get some good racing from now on. And we'll see how the strategies develop as the race goes on. We'll see how those new tyre runners are able to make up the time as well. And the safety car should be in any moment now. There we go. And of Noah, who's managed to lead every lap still amidst all the chaos. And what has happened? What have you spotted?
Someone's just hit the back end of Noah.
Hopefully he hasn't picked up any damage from that, and we can get going. Of Noah taking us nice and slowly here through the final couple corners. And Of Noah's been pretty faultless every time he races at the front of that pack. And we'll see if he can continue. He had a great restart the first time around. Obviously, it didn't last for too long, but we'll see how he goes now. When's he going to go? He went just before the end of this corner on the previous occasion. This time he's still going to hold the pack, and they are very eager behind him, building up. And now, off he goes, and he's done well there, of Noah. Great restart, and he's caught a few drivers napping. Apex Stig now putting pressure on Zonix. H. Mewburn's there as well. Got some good pace here. And Zonix just trying to hang on, but down the inside, the Alpine makes the dive. And nothing doing, unfortunately. A little bit further back, a bit of action going on as well. As Webbo and Taipan TJ fight it out. Taipan cannot find a way through, though. And we look back up to the front. Zonix has gained a bit of time on Of Noah. Lap 7 of this race, and still can't find a way through
Webbo
just
made
yet.
contact. Taipan goes off the track, and now Miniman might be trying to get involved. Hudman makes a move on Mickey, so Mickey not enjoying the low wings as Taipan now gets the move done on Webbo. Webbo makes a mistake, and now Miniman is trying to get through as well. Will he be able to make it stick? They're wheel to wheel as they head through his very, very long right-hander, and as we head onto the exit, Miniman is going to get it done. Webbo not counting himself out quite yet, thought about going back for it, as now a lot of people up the back trying to have a bit of a battle. Jaden making a move past Spicy though, and is now up into the top 5 once again after starting down from P11 on both the actual race start and the restarts, as Frosty now making a move on Broadstar for P11, so those hard tyres working fairly well for him at the moment. And he just has to make up some more time to the cars in front of him. Mickey really struggling up the back there. No setup really hurts around here. And I think he's just pulling into the pits to retire now. So as we take our focus back to the front, it'll probably be Mickey out of the race, or at least setting his front wing really high as Of Noah. Fastest lap of the race as he's led this restart away. And he has a bunch of chasing cars behind him, but I don't think he's showing any signs of feeling the pressure just yet.
Yep, Of Noah doing really well. He's managing to hold off Zonix at this stage. The DRS will come on shortly, as Apex Stig is really taking the challenge to Zonix here as well. And Jaden's just behind in 5th as well. He's lost no time to the lead in making his way back through the field. And now really putting the pressure on H. Mewburn, who's started to lose touch with that front pack. And a lot of respect for H. Mewburn and his ability to make his way through the field, but he just doesn't have the level of pace that those front runners have at this stage. And now Jaden is really all over the back of him. It looks like H. Mewburn is just a little bit better in that straight line. Jaden with a little bit more downforce, and he should be able to catch quite rapidly through these next couple corners. And Taipan TJ as well is just behind those two, chasing down Spicy in the Haas. And Spicy seems to be having some issues with track limits at this stage. And now we go to the main straight. Can Jaden find his way through? H. Mewburn has no slipstream in front of him to help. And now Jaden is going to peel to the inside here, and you assume make that move into 4th place. Spicy stalking just behind as well. Jaden just doesn't have the speed in the straight line to make his way through, but he cuts underneath HMU, and now comes wheel to wheel with him. And around the outside he goes, and that is very smoothly done by Jaden there. And Spicy also makes his way through on HMU just to make that pain a little bit worse.
Yeah, that was a really good move all the way around the outside. And now Taipan also forcing his way through, and Mewburn finds himself going from 4th down to 7th in the case of a couple of corners, making one move around the outside there from Jaden, caused a bit of a string effect there from Mewburn, and now he finds himself quite far back as he's just made a massive error there, nearly spun off into the wall. But something of note here, of Noah, 1.3 seconds to Zonic, so he's broke DRS.
Yeah, and Zonix has also broken DRS to Apex Stig, so that pack is starting to spread out a bit now, and Ovnoa is flying off into the distance. It seems to be one of his strongest tracks, and he is absolutely proving it here so far. There's a great little scrap going on here for 11th between Webbo, Frosty, and Royal Duck, but Frosty has just lost a little bit of time there as I say that, and now they're about to head down to the main straight, so we'll see if Frosty can make his way through. He's really been struggling in recent weeks, and has the DRS open now.
Hate to ignore a battle though, but Taipan is about to make a move on Spicy. P5, and he goes down the inside. Oof, nearly got the back of Jaden there, gets switched back by Spicy, as we'll now move back down to 11 and 12, who are still wheel to wheel. Frosty sweeping through. I think he's holding the position. I don't think he was overtaking. I can't remember which order they were in, but they are very close together. But that battle for P5 is also heating up, as Webbo putting a bit of a pressure move there onto Frosty, just pretending like he was going to go down the inside, then backing out. I think that this is a fight to watch. Obviously, it's not for any points, but any battling is good battling here in Tier 2, and I think we've seen that a lot this season. We'll have some cracking races at the front, and when it isn't so good at the front, it is always really good battling towards the mid and the back.
Yeah, Spicy having some real trouble with track limits. He's got 9 seconds now as Miniman gets past H Movement. Type Ed TJ down the inside of Spicy as well. Takes that 5th place. And now he can set after Jaden and the top 3. And there's a nice even gap that's formed between all the drivers in the top 4. All outside of DRS of each other. And they're all just kind of cruising along at the moment. The 2 Red Bulls are getting pretty close. I think H Mewburn is really starting to struggle in these last couple of laps. He's dropped 4 positions, and now it's about to be 5, because Broadstar makes his way through on his teammate, and he sees the McLaren Miniman just in front, doesn't decide to have a crack at him just yet. And that midfield is still pretty tight together. Taipan TJ as well, chasing after Jaden. And Taipan showing his fantastic pace here, and battle resumes from Brazil last week.
Yeah, obviously these two are VCing together, and will probably try to work together, but right now I think the gloves might come off for a minute, and I think whoever's faster will try and make the move, and right now it's looking like Taipan has all the pace and all the grip underneath him, whereas Jaden not looking so strong, but you can't discount Jaden's performance so far, and even if he does drop to P5, it's still a brilliant result for him so far, to go from P11 to P4 or P5, wherever he ends up in this race. It'll be a good result as long as he finishes ahead of where he started.
Yep, exactly right. And you can see that those gaps are continuing to form here. So some great driving going on up front. Broadstar getting quite close to Spicy here. We know Broadstar has some great pace, so he could be on for a great result here today. He's got the McLaren of Miniman just behind him as well, putting pressure. And Broadstar, in fact, is struggling with his battery. So this could be a bit more difficult for him as Hudman gets past H. Mewburn, and Taipan gets past Jaden into 4th place as well. So he gets that move done. Is he going to be able to pull away from Jaden, or are they going to be just exchanging places down the main straight? We will see. Ed Broadstar still trying to press Spicy, but no way through just yet. He's used a lot of battery trying to make his way through the field, and it looks like it might hurt him a little bit now. Yeah,
as Broadstar now poking his nose up the inside, just trying to do anything and everything possible to try get a mistake out of Spicy here, but Spicy holding station, holding well, despite having 9 seconds worth of time penalty, sitting on his track position like he's fighting for the win.
Yeah. And Jaden is still on the back of Taipan as well, so he's been able to hold on to him nicely. And now there's a yellow slow Mickey is backwards. So I must have had a bit of a spin there. And his afternoon goes from bad to worse here in Qatar. Unfortunately for Mickey, he had a great qualifying.
It was Taipan. Taipan gets 3 seconds.
Yeah, struggling with track limits as well as Taipan, as a few drivers have already. It could be, the track limits could decide this race tonight with the current gaps we're seeing in the top 3. If any one of those picks up a penalty, it could be very costly.
As here goes Broadstar finally on Spicy. He goes up the inside. Hopefully he doesn't go too deep and get switched back this time. Spicy remaining on his outside here. And Broadstar forcing him the long way around. Spicy now forcing Broadstar the long way around, but that will become the inside. Come the exit of the corner. Who's going to end out ahead? It looks like it's going to be Broadstar for the moment, and Broadstar moves up into the top 6 finally.
Great little scrap there between the two of them. And very respectful as Taipan TJ is going for a move on Apex Stig and gets him. Apex Stig must have made a mistake because suddenly he's fallen back into this pack. And now Jaden has just gotten stuck behind him here. So I'm not exactly sure what happened to the Alpine there, but Taipan TJ's made his way into the podium places. Oh, Jaden cut the track there. And we've set that's a big a corner where a lot of those track limit penalties are awarded, and we might just have to have a look at how many everyone's accumulated, as it could be a big factor in this race. But yeah, Taipan TJ will be trying to pull away now from these two.
Yeah, Ovnoa having an absolutely amazing race up the front though. 2.5 seconds ahead of Zonix. Right now, at the current rate he's getting, if he gets a 3 second, he would be in danger right now, but there's a possible chance he gets faster. There's about 5 drivers get penalties all at once. Up the back there, P11 to P14, all just got penalties.
Just having a look at the track limit warnings. Zonix is on 2 as well, so he is on very thin ice. And I'm trying to see, Ovnoa has 1, so it looks like it's more of a when the drivers are going to get penalties rather than if at this stage in the race, as Apex Stig is back past Taipan TJ. Taipan is off the track too. And he's off the track a couple times. Jaden might see an opening here. Taipan just struggling here a little bit. Jaden not able to find a way through just yet. And yeah, as you said, quite a few drivers picking up those penalties now. And it's all going to be about who can keep their car on the track here.
There's Jaden all over the back of Taipan. I think Apex Stig is struggling to try pull away again. Taipan right on the back of him. Taipan will be looking at his second penalty pretty soon, I think, as Mickey's had another round.
Yep.
Not a lot of walls here at Qatar, just a lot of runoff, so hopefully we don't see any more DNFs in this race. But maybe Mickey might go and retire in the pits if he keeps his current form, which I don't blame him. He has no setup, and he was looking so good, and he just got really unlucky. But sometimes these things happen in the F1 game, with Codemasters not particularly being the most competent of game developers. But anyway, Taipan is moving up the inside of Apex Stig. Will he be able to get it done? He goes down the inside, but now he's going to be forced the long way around, which, as we know, can work. But Jaden now finds a cut back underneath the both of them, and is now going for a double overtake here. If he can get this done around the outside of Apex Stig, what a double overtake it would be. If there's contact, Jaden's off, and now there's 3 wide. There's contact,
no.
And that was a big one. There was just everyone all over the place, and nobody knew what to do, I don't think. And
that was an awesome little set of corners, though, between those 3. We had Jaden cut underneath both, and then Taipan did the exact same thing a corner later, and now a Webbo is around, and that's a virtual safety car.
Hold on.
Could be a bit of damage possibly to the Williams that's caused that, without a wing. And yeah, what a battle that was just for a moment there. Unfortunately, Apex Stig, he was leading a massive train, slowing quite a few people down, so an incident was always possible, and unfortunately he's been the victim of it.
Yeah, obviously they went 3 wide into there, and 3 into a single file corner just does not mix. It's like trying to go 3 wide at the castle section. It does not work. And it was just proved. There's a couple of drives diving into the pits under this VSC. Surprised Jaden didn't jump into the pits as well. Obviously, it's definitely the time to pit, to go hard till the end, and the VSC will definitely save your race, as even if Noah comes into the pit lane as Apex Stig, to add insult to injury, picks up a 5-second time penalty for speeding into the pit lane, but I think Jaden maybe feels his mediums can go a couple more laps, and he can try get the most out of them, but he's not. I don't think it was the greatest strategy call to stay out, but maybe he saw Noah was in the pits and didn't want to double stack to hurt him. As Zonix gets a drive-through!
Oh no.
Oh no!
Right on the VSC restart. It's caught a couple people out. And Zonix, unfortunately, is going to have to serve that drive-through penalty. That's going to cost him big time. Noah's in a fantastic position here on the brand new hard tyres, and he's only 4 seconds off the lead. And he's only got 13 laps to take them. So this has really just worked out perfectly for him at the moment.
Yeah, right now it's looking like another Noah win. He has looked really good this season, but obviously never say never when it comes to a driver making mistakes. As Zonix, who we think sometimes looks a bit too bulletproof with his mistakes, has just made a massive one, and that just proves even the best of the best in any tier make mistakes when it counts.
Yeah, so Noah is gaining on Broadstar quite rapidly at the moment. And Hudman is lagging like I've never seen. Anyway. Yeah, no one really too close here at the moment. I think that VSC has sort of spread everyone out a little bit more. And now Zonix is coming to the pits to serve that drive through, so we'll see what the damage is. I think he'll be down in about 12th here as he comes out.
Yeah, he has a big train coming up behind him now. He's going to get overtaken by a lot of cars, and he will be fuming right now. He will be highly upset, and I think that is just not how he wanted his race to go. Obviously, if he won this race, he could win the championship. Obviously, it isn't over yet. Late safety cars can still put him back into a pack position, and with the amount of penalties right now, if there was a safety car, he'd be in like P6, so
yeah, indeed.
It's not over yet, but Noah is looking very good right now.
Yep, on fire this man is at the moment. And Hudman has actually found his way into a pretty solid position in this race. When Jaden and Broadstar pit, it's going to be pretty close, but he could be almost P2 after all the drivers in front pit, so wouldn't that be a great turnaround for him? And HM Uburn suddenly has found himself back into this race as well, so a couple of drivers who were down and out are now have got some hope.
Yeah, and as Noah is all over the back of Broadstar here. Will he get past him? I think he will. It's going to be quite a easy overtake, old tyres versus new. And I think he's just going to go sailing by before we even get to the corner. Broadstar might try to keep his nose in. He looks for it, but just decides against it. And now it's Mercedes 1-2 out on the track, but Jaden obviously still having to pit. The strategy call probably wasn't the greatest for him not to pit under the VSC. But it is what it is. Maybe he's just banging on one more safety car in this race, as there's a yellow flag. It is Mickey, but no DNF, so
yeah, he's close to getting lapped as well, so tough day for here, as we've mentioned. In the meantime, Frosty all over the back of Royal Duck, both these two on some aging tyres. But they have got a bit of a gap for both sides of them, so they're sort of just racing on their own at the moment. Yeah. And Frosty dropping back a little bit now. Noah about to take the lead of the race back from his teammate.
And obviously Zonix just getting a penalty just really solidifies this race as one to forget for him. One of not very many this season to forget, and I think it's the first one he really would want to forget. He's had some amazing races all season, as now Jaden dives into the pits, just lets his teammate go, doesn't even want to make him do an overtake. And now it is just truly time to bring it home for Noah. He has 4 seconds to the car behind, or not quite 4 seconds, 1.5, sorry, I was just looking at the Jaden Delta. And now he just needs to try run away with it here and bring it home without any penalties.
Yep, and he is going to have a huge lead by the time everyone who needs to pit has pitted. Hudman is going to be his next closest contender. He's about 15 seconds back, so that is an absolutely massive advantage for the Mercedes at the moment. And there's a yellow once again.
Yellow. Spicy round. Spicy's reset the track right into Jaden. Luckily, even with ghosting off, if you reset the track at the right time, it'll still ghost you. And Jaden has gone long because he wanted to go onto the softs. And now right now, with all of those penalties, he could find himself P5 without even needing to make the overtakes. So,
yep.
He's in a brilliant spot. Spicy's out of the race!
Out.
Safety car.
It's a safety car. There you go. Well, doesn't that Broadstar be very happy to see that? He's got some old tyres on. And so does Frosty. Frosty will be pumped for this safety car. Broadstar is going to come out possibly in the position that he's in right now.
Yeah.
So, hasn't that turned things around for him?
Yeah, and Jaden will be absolutely kicking himself that he didn't stay out one more lap. Otherwise, he would have inherited P2.
And Mickey probably should have stayed out and waited another lap because he's gone open of Noah's pitting. Thankfully, he's gonna stay on the lead lap.
Yep. So Ovnoa will pit. Everybody up and down this grid, I think, except Jaden will pit. And obviously, Jaden will be in a pretty good spot in this race now.
He's gonna be a great spot.
Yeah, even if he doesn't overtake everyone now as they come into the pits with those penalties, there's no way he doesn't end up in the top 3 here, I think.
Yeah, what a great result for him. And Broadstar and Frosty have sort of just been put in this awesome position. Hudman won't be overly happy about that, but I think Frosty has a penalty, Hudman doesn't. And Jaden's is he gonna beat Frosty? It's gonna be close. Who's got it? Jaden's got it. Into P3 he goes, so now Broadstar is gonna be the meat in the sandwich. But I don't think he's going to mind too much because he's got a big chance to finish on the podium now, and he's had a few slip away from him this season. And he'd love to get a few points up there for Red Bull. HMUben, interestingly, onto the medium tyres. I think he's going to get swallowed up quite quickly with those on.
Yeah, and I think the question is now, Ovnoa obviously should hold his calm, and hopefully he doesn't get a penalty. We'll see if he's gotten another one, maybe, J-Man. You want to check Race Director?
Yeah, I'll have a look at it. And yeah, everyone's picked up a penalty in this race except for the top 3, Hudman and Mickey, funnily enough, who's probably had the most going offs out of all the drivers, but he's managed to not cut the track, so it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, and I think there is a big chance of a potential Mercedes 1-2 for the second time this season if Broadstar doesn't have the pace on Jaden.
Yeah, we will see what happens. Ovnoa still with the 1 track limits penalty, and obviously with that huge lead, he's able to just manage what he's doing and be a little bit more careful.
Yep, and I think Ovnoa being at the front like this right now, and with Jaden in P3 right now, even if they don't get 1-2, if they get 1-3, even if they just get 1-5, if Jaden somehow gets a penalty and drops back and stuff like that, Mercedes still takes home a massive haul of points here.
Yep, Broadstar has 2 warnings, and I'm going to look to see how many Jaden has.
As Miniman comes into the pit lane.
Jaden has 2 as well, so 2 warnings for Broadstar and Jaden, and 1 for Ovnoa.
So let's hope that no more drivers get any penalties here or add on to their penalty count. And this could be an interesting race, but if Jaden or Broadstar do get penalties, even if Hudman gets a penalty, Zonix could make some overtakes and come back through and somehow pull out a bit of a miraculous result here. He's only down in P9, and with everyone with penalties, he can still get about P6 right now, if not P5, and then if the others get penalties, then maybe even better, but we'll have to see how this race unfolds. Hopefully, Mickey doesn't end up holding the safety car up too much more. Same with Miniman after he's come out of the pit lane. Miniman should catch up, and so should Mickey, I hope. But
yeah,
and the safety car up.
And with how close this race is, I think the stewards are going to have a fun time. I think a few drivers will be putting up some penalty removal requests, I'd suspect, whether they're fair or not. Because that's how close it's going to be. The penalties will decide this race, as they usually do in Qatar. And now we should get some racing this lap, and this is going to be an awesome sprint to the finish. A bit of excitement in a race that's probably lacked it so far, so hopefully we can get a really tense and exciting finish now.
Yeah, I think this race could have been definitely a lot more exciting had we not had the bit of a bummer of a lobby restart and a race restart as well to go on top of it. But now we're here, 8 laps to go, a safety car, all to play for, and it's back to usual Div 2 proceedings, and this should be an exciting end to the race. And as always, Div 2 is, I think, going to put on a show.
Yep, and it's all in the hands of Noah, who's going to be taking his 3rd restart of the afternoon. This is going to be absolutely massive here. Broadstar has found himself in an awesome position here. Frosty is right in amongst it as well, and Hudman. The drivers without the penalties are going to be the ones that look dangerous here, but all it takes is one little mistake, and those penalties could happen, and it's going to even it out massively. But Noah clearly in the box seat here with 8 laps to go. He's taken off at a couple different points on these race starts, so we'll see what he does. Is he going to keep Broadstar on his toes here? Pick a different spot, possibly. We'll see what he does. Here he goes around the final corner. The pack backed up. And Noah will also be trying to get Broadstar to fall into his teammates' arms here to try and secure that 1-2 finish. And he's leaving it very late here, is Noah. Doesn't want to give Broadstar any straight to work with. And still going. And this is a very long straight here. As now he goes. And Frosty is already alongside and almost past Jaden here. And Hudman is right in there as well. He's going to go to the inside. Are they going to go 3 wide? Possibly, as Frosty swoops around the outside. But Jaden hangs on to that 3rd place and now is putting pressure all over Broadstar. And Noah looks to have gotten a clean getaway here, but Jaden looking inside and out here to try and find a way through. Nothing doing just yet. Hudman also desperate to find a way. He sniffs a win here, does that Ferrari, and he wants to find his way through quickly.
Oh, Jaden went for it!
Inside goes Jaden. It's a big dive from him, and it works. What a move there by Jaden to find his way through into 2nd place. Can Broadstar do anything about it? I don't think so. And now Hudman's through on Frosty, it looks like. Yes, he is, but Frosty's coming back at him round the outside. That was bold from Frosty. He kept it in there, and he's taken that place back. Fantastic work between the two of them there, and Jaden manages to jump up in a second, but here comes Hudman once again. He's flying along around the outside, can't quite do it. And Frosty is feeling the heat at the moment. You can see they're dropping back to the top 3. Hudman is absolutely pressurising him, but it's not going to be enough at this stage. What a race start it was just then.
Yeah, and I think there's still some more racing to go. Zonix trying to make a move on Taipan. TJ, Royal Duck also getting cut off at the nose there. And now Zonix and Taipan are wheel to wheel as we make the run down into turn 1. Who will find themselves on top? Jaden sets the first lap of the race. Zonix doesn't quite have the straight line speed of Taipan TJ, but he's going to go down the inside into turn 1 as we head through turn 1. Who's going to come out on top here between Zonix and Taipan? It looks like it's going to be Zonix, but now Taipan has the inside for this next corner. If he can pick up the throttle early, he'll be able to get the move as they're still wheel to wheel as we head through the exit. Zonix gets the move done, and now Apex Stig is getting involved. And now Stig gets a double overtake done, but he makes a mistake, and now Taipan finds himself through. Zonix off the track, and now Taipan holds the position, and Zonix and Stig lose out, and then there's 3 cars going wheel to wheel through the hairpin now, as Morrow maybe even trying to get involved now in the Alfa Romeo. Zonix still in P9, probably picking up another warning from going off there, and now Mewburn trying to get involved on Taipan TJ here.
And through all that drama, Jaden's picked up a 3-second penalty, and that is going to cost him 2 places at this stage with 6 laps to go. One little mistake from Broadstar, though, could hurt. And here we go again with H. Mewburn and Taipan TJ. H. Mewburn finding his way back into the race. Are those medium tyres going to kick into gear? No, he's gone wide. Zonix has too much pace, nowhere to go with it, and is stuck behind him for now. H. Mewburn still putting that pressure on. Zonix picks up another penalty, and that's going to hurt his chances, but we'll look up to 5th and 6th here. Royal Duck is in a great position here, 1.7 clear of Taipan TJ, chasing down Frosty, and Miniman gets past Zonix, and now H. Mewburn past Taipan TJ. Places going all over the place at the moment.
Taipan's back down the inside, and there's contact, and that's Mewburn having a massive moment, nearly spinning around there, catches the tank slapper though, and manages to keep himself in this race. It was so close to being an absolute disaster for him now, as Miniman trying to get around the outside. Taipan gets it done, and now Mewburn and Zonix are wheel the wheel, and Mewburn being put under all sorts of pressure because he's on those medium tyres, and Mewburn now picks up another 3 seconds. Zonix tries the long way around at the hairpin. It'd be a brilliant move, but I don't think he can get it done. And now, once again, Stig tries to get involved from absolutely nowhere.
All hell has broken loose in this race. Apex Stig has just found his way back once again. And it's the Great Wall of H. Mewburn at the moment. Can't find a way through. And now he's trying to get past Taipan TJ once again. And he's cut to the inside. He's got a good exit, but not enough speed through there. And now we got Zonix as well, just behind it. Apex Stig has got some great speed. He's going to go down the inside. That is risky from Apex Stig. Zonix goes off and says, I'm not risking it. And now Webbo goes around the outside of Zonix as well. And Zonix is just going backwards in this race at the moment.
As all the fight for P2, Broadstar moves past Jaden. So
well done, Broadstar. What a recovery from him.
Yeah, Broadstar will be doing anything in his power not to pick up a penalty here, but Jaden is also out of battery, so I think that is why we saw Jaden get that penalty. I think he's been pushing astronomically hard to try take that win off of his teammate this race, and definitely struggling a bit as now Frosty making a move past Royal Duck right around the outside. They're still going to be wheel to wheel, and Frosty solidifying the move there as we move further down the back now. Everything's still kicking off here for the fight for what is P6, or no, P7 overall here, and this is just everything's kicked off on this restart.
Yeah, wow, what a race we're seeing here at the moment. Royal Duck and Frosty are battling really hard for 5th and 6th at the moment. And Royal Duck has found himself in a position he hasn't usually been in. So he'd love to pick up some good points, but Miniman is catching him at a rate of knots at the moment. He does have that 6-second penalty, so he's going to have to clear these two. And at the moment, Hudman is just hanging on to 3rd place after penalties. So he's going to be pushing hard. They're both pretty much out of battery, the Mercedes and the Ferrari there. And Noah's out of battery as well.
Webbo just had a massive moment. Webbo just went side by side, and now we have 3 wide into the final corner. Mickey trying to now get involved, and as we head onto the straight, you'd assume Mickey's going to go absolutely flying, and he is. He's flying past these cars despite having DRS. Zonix is out of this race into the pit lane, so Zonix calls it quits with 3 laps to go, and now Taipan and Morrow wheel to wheel, and Mickey through the corners can't quite keep up, but if he can stay with them until we get to the straights, he's all the way back in this for at least a fight for P10, which is 1 singular point, but considering where he was, a point would be impressive.
Broadstar's absolutely lighting it up at the moment. You can't count him out for a potential challenge here of Noah. He's been able to hold that gap pretty incredibly at the moment. And as I say that, Noah's just pulled out a 10th or 2. But if Broadstar can find a way here, they're both really low on battery, pushing hard to hold each other off. Broadstar could be a chance, but it's going to be a reach. He needs a great couple laps to be able to do it. And he needs a mistake from Noah, but he's not out of it yet. Hudman has also gained a bit on Jaden, so trying to solidify that 3rd place. And it's still game on here with a couple laps to go.
Yep, and I think it's still all to play for as Miniman. Oh, he tries to get the inside of the ballsy corner on Frosty. A bit of contact. He gets through. Now, Royal Duck trying to get involved. Thinks about going up the inside. Stig is right on the scene as well, so we've got on board with Stig and get an overview of all of it here as we head onto the straight. Apex has more battery than most of them as we head down the straight here. He's gaining and gaining and gaining. He goes to the outside. He picks the outside after Royal Duck defends the inside, and now he's going to try get it the long way around. He gets pushed all the way around, but now he has the inside for this next corner, and as long as he can pick up the power early, he's through, and he moves up into P7. Yeah,
well done from Apex Stig there. 2 laps to go in this race. Still plenty of positions being contested at the moment. And Mickey's the only other driver without a penalty. He's down in 11th. He's been able to clear Taipan TJ. If he can get a little bit of time, he can still salvage a point from the race today, which would be an impressive effort from the Alpine driver, considering the tough circumstances he's been in this afternoon. And we have a look towards this mid-pack again with Miniman leading, Frosty, Apex Stig and Royal Duck. And it's going to be a big last couple laps here. Still plenty of positions to be sorted out. And still a driver could make a mistake and pick up a penalty as well, which could change the course of the race.
Yep, and I think it's going to be right now Ovnor, Broadstar, and Hudman, your top three, but obviously anything is still possible. Who knows, Hudman could maybe even get a penalty. I think from memory you said he was on 2, so I think he's just trying to keep himself out of, inside the lines at this point in time, because right now, if as long as he can do that, he picks up a P3.
And Ovnoa also has 2 exceeding track limits penalties, so...
Oh, Stig re-runs the Haas, and that's 2 spins! The Haas and Frosty, Frosty and Apex Stig go spinning around, and the other driver, I don't know who it was, I can't remember the team it was either, managed to get his way through. Stig retires with 2 laps to go. Taipan's putting on a new wing to go for fastest lap, I think, and all's kicked off here, but no safety car.
Yep. Too late for a safety car, I think. And Ovnoa just needs to keep it on the track. You can see he's keeping it well inside the track, just making sure he's not picking up that penalty. And Broadstar, I think, is doing the same here. Doesn't want to lose a place. It's to Hudman. So just playing defensively now. Only 12 drivers left in the race, and that's a shame for Apex Stig. He had gotten caught up in a few incidents, but Mickey could register more than a couple points here after that result, and he's up in a 9th now.
Yeah, with the amount of penalties too, he's looking like it's going to be... actually no, he's not within 3 seconds of Morrow, but obviously Morrow could make a mistake. We'll have to follow that. But up the front of Noah now has 3.2 seconds as they head onto the final lap. So at this current moment, if he got a penalty, it would be crunch time, but he'd still be in the lead, but it's barely. It is so very barely, and I don't think he's going to get one. I don't think Broadstar's going to get one either. And at this current moment, your top 3 will be Ovnar, Broadstar, and Hudman. And the rest of the grid is looking pretty similar after that as well. So what we see on this order, I think, is going to be what we see the finishing results, except for Mini Man will drop down 2 positions to P7.
Yeah, and Royal Duck's going to get that great result as well. Should be able to finish P5 from here, which is fantastic for him. And Morrow as well is going to pick up a few points. He should be able to come home P8 from there. Frosty was in a great spot. He's going to finish down in 10th now, unfortunately for him. But Ovnoa is now heading towards the final part of the lap here, and he has been absolutely faultless today. He was on pole position. He pretty much led all the way through from start to finish as well. The strategy was on point, and he has lost absolutely nothing. He was away for last week, but he's come back and he's absolutely dominated, and he is putting in a massive shift for this Mercedes team as he rounds the final corner, and he is going to bring it home here for Mercedes. Another win, his 3rd of the season for Ovnoa, and he is making a statement here in Tier 2 as Broadstar in the Red Bull brings it home for 2nd. What a result for him. And Hudman finally, at long last, the reigning champion, is back on the podium. And then Jaden comes home in 4th, and then the rest follow. But what a result for Ovnoa. A fantastic drive for him again, and he did it with ease at the end of the day.
Yep, so 3.8 seconds was the gap from him to Broadstar. He never blinked, no matter what happened, no matter what pressure he was under. He always kept it together, and that is why he's won today. Jaden, unfortunately, not able to keep himself completely clean in this race. Gets a penalty, drops down to P4, but still a massive haul and a massive result for the Constructors' title. Mercedes will be extending their lead in Tier 2 and in the overalls as well. So we still have Tier 1 to go to decide what's going on with the overalls this week, but Mercedes having a good result will be absolutely crucial for that championship. But, as you said, J-Man, great to see Hudman back on the podium.
Yep, it is absolutely wonderful to see, and there was some great results. A few drivers will be very pumped with how they went today. Type N TJ ends up getting that fastest lap, but I'm not sure if we give out points if they're not in the top 10.
We don't.
We don't, so he won't get anything for that, sadly for him. But what an interesting race. It was a bit disappointing that we had those couple race starts, but we were eventually able to get us going finally, and we got some pretty good action as well towards the end.
Yeah, and a Mercedes, Red Bull, Ferrari podium reminiscent of the V6 hybrid era from 2018 to 2021, and maybe not so much in the years to come after it. So we have Ovnoa followed by Broadstar and Hudman as your top three. Then we have Jaden just getting a penalty at the wrong moment. Then we have Royal Duck. Miniman picks up P6 with 4 pit stops under his belt. Then Morrow, P7, Mewburn, followed by Mickey, who P9, not where he'd want to be finishing, but considering he had no setup and was down and out for a good chunk of the race, it's a good result for him. Then we have Frosty, Webbo, Taipan, and everybody else either DNF'd or is 2 laps down. So,
yeah, well,
Mercedes are going to pick up 37 points today in Div 2 if it stays exactly how it is right now. And that is a big haul of points, and as I said before, that is crucial for this race, with Zonix also scoring none and Aston Martin as a whole scoring none.
yep, that margin is going to be extended by almost double now, or actually more than double. So it's going to be a lot of work for Aston Martin to try and reel that one in. And Alpine as well. I think Alpine had a rough day, only Mickey picking up a couple points. So Mercedes definitely in the box seat now, and there's still a few races to go. But with that Tier 2, the strength and the consistency of the Tier 2 lineup, I think it's going to be theirs to lose from here.
Yep. So we'll now move ourselves to Paddock VC to get these interviews underway for Tier 2.
I won't be able to make it, unfortunately, but I've got to rush off. But thank you.
Yep, thank you, J-Man.
And it's a great race.
As always. Yeah.
Cheers.
We will get interviews done momentarily.
Yo.
We have 2 of our podium sitters in. We just need Ovnoa, the race winner. Just waiting on Ovnoa as I'm going to the showroom. Be a shame if we can't get Ovnoa in here. 23, and we'll stop P3, who is a Ferrari. Alrighty, so... I'll just hitting Ovnoa one more time. If we can't get him in the next minute or so, we'll start the interviews without him. Hopefully he comes along there. I think we're going to see Ovnoa in for an interview, so we'll get this underway. Hudman, P3 mate, finally, after what feels like an eternity, returning to the podium as the reigning champion. And you've got to feel pretty good about that result tonight.
Yeah, I feel pretty good. That's like the first podium I've had this season, I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken.
So that's pretty good. Get a podium. Had a bit of a moment at the start of the race because I got squeezed, but I fought back and I got a P3, so I'm very happy with that.
Yeah. So obviously, a bit of a mixed race for you there. That you managed to get it done in the end. P3, obviously after Jaden got the penalty. When you saw Jaden get that penalty, did you realize it was rush time was on? You couldn't just relax till the end.
Yeah, I had to. Like, I was pretty focused on the podium before that last safety car came out. So when that safety car came out, I was just trying to pick my way up, and I just tried to stay within the 3 seconds of Jaden. So yeah, all in all, pretty good race. I have not had a very good title defense this season, but yeah, no, I'm pretty happy to get a podium now.
Yeah. So what do we have next? Hold on, I'm just gonna quickly check the race calendar. So we have Abu Dhabi up next. So continuing inside of the United Arab Emirates. How are you feeling going into that round? Do you think that's one of your stronger tracks?
No, I don't like Abu Dhabi. It's not going to be a good track for me, I don't reckon. But I don't know. I like Qatar. It was good, but I don't know. Hopefully, I just get a good quality result at Abu Dhabi so I can start at the front somewhere and finish at the front.
So obviously you'll be looking to go back-to-back podiums, but other than that, good race, mate. And hopefully this isn't the last time I interview you this season. And yeah, have a good week and get ready for Abu Dhabi. And yeah, we'll now move on to a P2 setup, Broadstar. So obviously P2 for you. I don't know, you're kind of there or thereabouts. It was a bit of a hard race for me to follow. As you weren't really in the mix until that final safety car, so to speak. But you were always thereabouts, just not really in the midst of it. So walk me through your race a bit here.
Uh, yeah. Before the lobby restart, I had a pretty good start off. Coming up to P4 from a bit of that chaos, and then the restart happened, and it wasn't good at that point. And then I had a bad launch off. Held my position for a while. Started on the mediums, and then the first VSC came out. Or the second one, I think, and I decided to pit for new mediums, or it was a safety car, and kind of can't really remember too much. And then I'd really good pace on those mediums compared to everyone else. And then I try to stay at as long as possible on those tires. They got to about 65%, I believe, and then a safety car came out on the lap I was going to box for softs, so it happened perfectly. And then I didn't have a great safety car restart with Jaden getting me quite quickly, and then I had to try and clear him to try and catch up to Noah, but Noah had incredible pace today. I could not catch up to him at all.
Yeah, obviously Noah looked very unstoppable out there today, and I think he made a statement, as J-Man said. He's come back from a week off and has just absolutely blitzed the field. But you've got to be pretty happy with the P2 though.
Yeah, felt good to be back on the podium again. Haven't been on it since Singapore, and that was almost exactly the same as what happened at Singapore, late safety car and then just cut back through. But yeah, it was a good race, good points to the team at the moment, with Mewburn P8. So yeah, good result for the team.
Yep. Alrighty. So we'll now move to a bit of an interesting one. So I have J-Man in the not J-Man, fucking they both start with J. Jaden Squires, and so we'll move to the Mercedes car. Obviously, you got P4, but do you have any comments for Ogner? Because you said you could do the interview for him. Are you are you messaging him or?
Hi, I just joined to say hello after, but yeah, sure, I'll
Alright.
interview. Let's go.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, look, on behalf of Noah, bro's cracked. I get why you replaced me with him. Look, I'm not gonna lie, I'm probably gonna get P3 because I need to get a pen removed, but we'll let him have it. Should be right. But yeah, on behalf of Noah, yeah, look, unlucky Taipan TJ got that fastest lap at the end. would have been a good extra point to the team. You know, I tried to give Jaden like back up and give Jaden some DRS a bit there. He got it, but Broadstar was just too quick. I heard Jaden didn't practice it.
I love the speaking in of Noah's.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, I heard wait, how old's of Noah? Is he like 12 or something?
I don't fucking know.
Oh,
How do you
anyway.
expect me to know?
Oh well, you know.
Okay, shut up, Jaden.
so-
No, okay, I'll so mute you.
Bro, listen. I didn't look on behalf of Noah. Look, man, Noah's a great guy, but like, bro's cracked, and I didn't practice because I got home like 2 minutes before the race started.
Yeah,
So
I
I
said
had no
that in
practice.
qualifying.
So yeah, my first run didn't even activate hot lap. Second run was on a new set of tires. I would have been up there, but yeah, no. Taipan TJ, fastest lap of the race. My goat.
Alright, Jaden. Alright.
Alright, love you all. Bye.
Yeah, see ya. Alrighty, that will be all for ORL Tier 2 tonight. It's been a pleasure. Tier 1 is at 7:30 AEST, and we will see you then for Tier 1 to round out this week at Qatar. But for now, that'll be myself and Jamin from Comms today signing out. Yeah, goodbye.